Alright there, ladies and gentlemen. Brad Pitt clearly did not get enough of World War II in Inglourious Basterds, so he came out there and filmed Allied. And if you watch the commercial for Allied, you know that this is a story about some dude whose wife is suspected of being a Nazi spy. The only problem with that, of course, is that that happens more than an hour into the film. In fact, it happened an hour and 25 minutes after showtime started. Now there might be a few minutes in there accounted for credits, but literally I was there for more than an hour. An hour and 25 minutes after this movie was supposed to start, and they still hadn't covered all the information in the trailer. Normally that means the film really sucks. I can't say that it sucks. I really can't. I can say that it started out very strong, with a sort of a spy plot, and then that spy plot dissolved into a secondary story of two people being in love during a war and trying to continue having a normal life despite things like war rationing and all this terrible problems that are happening over and over again. And you know, they're having parties during air raids and whatever have you. And whereas I found that incredibly interesting because I have a love of history, and a love of World War II history in particular, I have to admit that this part of the story very much dragged for me. It was not as good as the rest. And then, of course, that nearly hour and a half into the film is almost over, and suddenly you get to the real meat of this particular film, which is the story about finding out whether this person is a spy. Are they? Aren't they? Will you lose the love of your life, the mother of your child? And I'm going to say that it works in that it gets you to invest in Brad Pitt's character, who is a Canadian airman stationed in England during the war. I'm totally cool with that, except for the fact that, I think that in terms of a World War II film, there's a lot of other things that could have been put in there. And really, I think this film probably would have been better with 15 minutes less footage. But then maybe that 15 minutes less footage would have gotten you to sympathize less with the characters. But in the end, this film is two films in one. Half of this film is a war story and, in more point, a war tragedy. The other half of this film is a love story about romance and not much else. And you have to understand that from a basic standpoint. If you can get past the romance to the war part, you can engage very well. If you're taking a girl on a date, I think this is a great movie for that. Because this is a story about love. There's a great strength of love in this film, and it will bring that heart pumping at the end so that she'll associate the emotions associated with this film with you. She'll see how much someone can love another human being. If you're not into sappy love stories, that's really going to detract from this movie for you, and you're not going to care for it. If I'm to look at this movie in terms of what kind of food it might be, because I'm a big fat man, I would have to say it's one of those things that's something of an acquired taste. It's like black coffee. Really good black coffee is absolutely incredible to anyone who really likes black coffee. But if you just don't like black coffee, that's not for you. Same thing with this film. It's an acquired taste. If you like war movies, yeah, okay, this could be a great movie for you. But Starbucks doesn't sell real coffee. They say coffee full of sugar. That's a war movie. So if you just like the coffee, maybe this is coffee with vanilla. This is flavored coffee without sugar. That's what it is. If you like flavored coffee without sugar, this is what you're looking at. It's an acquired taste. It's not for everybody. It has things that everybody likes, but it's missing a little something that is going to bring this movie home. Again, I am actually going to give this a recommendation. I think it's a good film. I think it's worth seeing. I'm just saying, this is not bro night. We're going to go see this movie, go out with the bros afterwards and talk about how hot the chicks were in it. This is date night. Go see this movie with your wife, your girlfriend, your significant other of some kind, and revel in the fact that you think your relationship can be as strong as the relationships in this film. So, why don't you tell me in the comments down below, what is your favorite romance film or film with a romance in it, I'd like to know. I'm Richard.